Hey, welcome back to another video with the RVTs. This you might consider a part 2 video because in part 1 we replaced our jack pads some last year, I believe, maybe a little bit longer. I believe it was last year sometime, around this time. But during our most recent stint at the RV Unplugged rally in Athens, Texas, we discovered there was a weakness in our jack pads, specifically in the rear. When we put our jacks down into the field, they kept going and consequently bent the jack pads, as you see in this picture over here, like a taco. And you'll see more of this as we take them apart. But I found a solution from a company called RV-Paws in California. Thank you, Darius, shout out to you. He made me a brand new pair of replacement jack feet that are twice as thick as the original. And you see here, this is made from 1/4-inch steel and reinforced. Very good stuff here. That's part of what our project's going to be today. And when I take these out, it's a full set. This is meant for the rear. Here's jack foot number 2. All came to me priority U.S. mail. And this is the little important part here. This is the instructions, obviously. Basic instructions how to install your RV-Paws, and we'll be following those instructions to the letter. Now, besides the RV-Paws, we have a couple of furniture pads here. My 1/2-inch wrench set, an impact wrench, safety glass is very important, and a rag, and of course some work gloves and orange anti-seize compound. We have my little toolbox here in case we need more. In the meantime, let's get to it and let's set those pads up. Okay, now I'm suited up. Got my safety glasses on, got my gloves, got my impact wrench, ready to start here. Now I know this is not an impact socket, but I'm going to be very careful and hopefully it won't break. But now I'm going to go underneath and start this project. Okay, here we are again, day 2. This time, we're turning the heat up just a little bit. Yes, we had to sort of heat the bolts that go into the hydraulic rams. So, because we put orange Loctite, thank you, on it, and we need to heat it up because it's just not coming loose. So, that's what we're doing right now, and I'll see you under the red.
Hold it. No, just sit here. Be careful.
Of course. Well, let's see how that goes. It's not quite there. Okay, well, let's see how well that does. And as you see, here's one bent jack pad. And by contrast, here's the replacement. A lot beefier. Now I had to heat this thing up to get it off. You see it's still in good shape. It's just...
It's taco flavor.
Taco flavor, yeah. So I'm going to get the other one off before I do this. So I'm going to make sure this isn't too hot to touch. Sometimes you just need to apply a little heat to the situation. Why is that not shutting up? Things over here. Yes, there's no, the fuel tank's up front anyway.
Yes. We don't have gas, we're diesel. And there's round two. Rocks and all. I said this bolt's actually in good shape. Needs to be brushed up a little bit with a little wire brush. But these are what's left of the original rubber. This is what's going in its place. Some of the crap off here. This is probably cooled off. That one's still surprisingly hot. But basically, as soon as this cools off, we can put it back on. This goes on that side, this is going on this side, and I'm going to attempt to get a wire brush out somewhere. And here's a little comparison to the bolt. This is after wire brushing, and this is before. You know, you can see the difference. A little cleaner, less corrosion. This will go on really nicely. Now, of course, here's the two tacos here that came out. Now he just has to do the same treatment to this bolt as I did the other. Now, if I had old power equipment, probably would go better, but I don't exactly have a vise in this situation. So I'm just taking a little wire brush and hopefully not poking myself in the process. But the wire brush does a fairly quick job of removing the surface corrosion, which is basically what I wanted to do, as well as clean up the threads. Now I probably put some oil on here as well, but I didn't want to do that. Just want to basically treat it. It'll have a nice little natural protection of rust eventually, but hopefully not as much. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to brush up the threads. You'll see as I take the brush across the threads, they become whiter and brighter. It's the ram. And I'm not talking about the goat either. Now that's started. Now the instructions are basically that start with the ram. Alright, so let's ram it up there. Now down to do the other side. Hit the show on the road to the other side. Same procedure as before. We're going to put this sleeve on. And then we have to put the lock thread on it. Definitely supposed to be tighter than that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That was better. Sucker's warm from all the action.
Now the ritual part is putting on the snap pads themselves. That's the next step. Now that we've installed the new Jack Feet, I'm taking some liquid Dawn detergent, and you can take soapy water if you like, but I like to use the direct thing here to lubricate the edges for the snap pads to go on. And it's more concentrated this way. And the next step is we're going to get the Jack pads in place. So that's next. Let's install these snap pads.